Welcome to Corrective Consciousness, episode 193, the podcast where we explore the inanity of pop culture. I am your host, vysethebold, and I am stalling. Now, Lotus is stalling.
I was kind of waiting for the rest of that, but all right.
Come on.
Lotus Prince.
And this is Dracologist, and I'm in with Link with two dum-dums.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dum-dums.
Oh, the lollipop, of course.
No, I'm talking about these two bullets I have from my shotgun.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was actually talking about the bullets from Roger Rabbit. Dum-dums.
Dum-dum is the name of a rifle shot that has been carved. So when it hits something, it explodes into shrapnel.
Well, I mean, that's why it was a joke in Roger Rabbit. It was a pun.
Yeah. So,
I'm aware.
anyway, we have another great themed episode here for you. And Dracologist, we wanted to give him the floor here in order to talk about the ways and the phenomena of review bombing that happens today in today's video game marketplace.
And
Dracologist,
movies and books.
Oh yeah, it goes everywhere, but video games it's especially powerful. I would and prominent.
Yes.
I would say.
Honestly, I'm not sure I can take on the entire dance floor here, but of course the thing is that my and Vice and Lotus opinion differs a little bit from mine, because I see that in the right case, review bombing can be a positive force, because this is how a lot of people can hear this voice against something that has been neglected or not misused or has been
like something that would otherwise be obscure.
Not obscure, but like if something,
but not addressed.
Not addressed. Like if you have make a game like there is a serious issue that is not overlooked or not addressed by the developer, review bombing may push them to actually address it, because, well, basically because everyone is lamenting on the same thing, then maybe they have that, or maybe they are not that.
The pressure to act.
Yes, like the audacity of the ignorance will not be that big. I do want to say that I met with, I think, two moments where review bombing was used maliciously, but it was done both by singular people, not by many people. You exploiting the score table, basically showing how exploitable the score tables are, or while trying to cling to the fact that they we are just showing that how this is easily to exploited. No, boy, you've been a bad boy.
Yeah, most of the time I hear about review bombing, it's for movies, and it's being used to either, well, I mean, not necessarily.
For sexism, it's usually.
I wouldn't say so.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, I've seen it used to shit all over the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, and to super hype something that comes out tomorrow or something, or again, Rise of Skywalker, in floods of positive reviews to counter what they think will be floods of negative reviews, or vice versa. So it's just a bunch of.
It definitely makes it all meaningless, doesn't it?
It really does. As far as I'm concerned, I understand why review bombing could potentially be used to get a developer or a director or whoever to act, but usually the way I see it is if you're making fake accounts and throwing extra comments out there, then you're doing it wrong. If enough people have something to say, then that's not review bombing, that's just reviewing.
In the case of let's say Street Fighter's netcode, I am all for the community banding together to get Capcom to act upon it in order.
And again,
to
that's
get
not review
good
bombing. That's
netcode.
reviewing.
Yes. The term, I would like to say that the term review bombing is used by large media and big like IGN and what do you call it, Reset Era and other places
Okay.
I was gonna say
like this is wrong thing. Don't this is what the plebs do.
I tend to think of review bombing as like a few people making a million dummy accounts on like IMDb or something and just going
actually
to town.
Yeah,
I do want to say that like what I mentioned about the singular people.
You did mention
that was a review in that sense, a review bomb. Incidentally, the mentioned where this happened was the mentioned Reset Era, because one of the person got upset with I think Somnium Files was the game.
Really?
AI Somnium Files? I heard like little but glowing praise about that game.
Yeah, people. So apparently, like some weirdo like misinterpreted like the game.
Which game?
AI Somnium Files.
What I heard he was like getting frothy over one of the characters because they didn't like
a very specific character.
Yeah. And like he made like fake accounts on, I don't know what kind of scoring board is connected to, but it basically
whatever.
Basically, he was trying to get out of the jail from the punishment of getting told off by saying like, "Oh, I did it because I was trying to show off how easy it is to exploit it." Oh, really?
Yeah, how clever of you. Yeah.
Yeah, so the way I see it from Shack News, an effort to review bomb AI the Somnium Files on Metacritic went haywire, resulting in it becoming the highest user-reviewed Nintendo Switch game on the review score aggregator.
Weird.
That's weird.
That's the game.
Review bombs have become a malicious method by toxic people to drag various products through the muck in modern times. That's what this
or to inflate praise of something because I like it and I want damn sure to make sure that it has a high score, which is also just devious.
Yeah, but
his methodology in reasoning behind the review bomb
if you have to lie and cheat to do
completely flawed.
But even then, if you have to lie and cheat to do it, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna prove something by lying. Wait, only one person had a review, even if it was 50 reviews from the same person. It's bullshit.
So I think we have to find a terminology. What's the difference between someone is making fake accounts and using them to slander or praise something that is not deserved?
Even if it's not slander, even if it's a legitimate review, if you're making a bunch of dummy accounts and copying your review, then it's still not cool.
I'm not a big fan of
that it doesn't deserve. Let's say that. And
to inflate or deflate a score, yeah.
And
I'm not a big fan of gathering the pitchforks together and having a grand old mob and trudging over to Steam.
Yes,
if they actually feel that way, then I guess that's just too bad. But yeah, if you're trying to get your friends, like, could you also leave a negative review? That's also devious.
No. I don't think that's. I'm not sure. Knowing how sometimes these groups work, I'm not sure that would be a present. But let's say like one person doing it or many person doing it individually for the same reason. Like for example, as I mentioned, the Warcraft Reforged incident, which
was that even review bombing? I thought everyone just hated that.
Well, it was considered. It is called a review bombing. It was like at least using the review bombs ill name or infamy just to dismiss or like, this is just review bombing. Nobody care. Nobody should be worrying. This is a good game. Like
I say.
Like they basically the term review bombing has an infamy to it, and people can use it to get out of the problems from it.
Well, yeah, because I do tend, like I said, I tend to picture review bombing as like artificial inflation or deflation of a grade. So like, yeah, if somebody really does get blasted legitimately by a million people and they're like, oh well, that was a review bomb, then yeah, that's devious on the developer's part then.
Yes. So do you think we could find a new or proper terminology for each, or some sort of addition maybe?
So like a new term for like if everybody legitimately feels this way or that about some game.
Yes.
Just mass reviewing. It's just reviewing.
And even if it's like a negative review, would you call it the same? Like
a negative review is a review. I only consider it review bombing if you make a bunch of dummy accounts or if you get your friends to make reviews of something that they haven't experienced just to like inflate some number. If I think it's bad and you think it's bad, we both think it's bad, then that's just called reviewing. And if people do it en masse, then that's a shame.
But if I'm a dude and you're a dude and she's a dude, then we're all dudes.
I'm a dude disguised as a dude playing the other dude, whatever the fuck that quote is.
We are contra, you are contra.
Yeah, we are all conscious. So dumb.
Let's attack aggressively.
Yeah.
Let's review bomb aggressively.
Now, actually, I relatively recently was watching I was editing the Bloodborne Let's Play, so I'm remembering, like, Mikolash's quote, like, let us sit and talk feverishly. It's just, like, such a weird thing to say.
It really is.
It's a very weird game, but...
Oh, yeah.
What do you expect from a Lovecraftian game?
Yes.
So, yeah, like, I think we have to, like... It's important that we see people look into these things, because in Steam I think there is no way you can make too much fake accounts to bombard a game like this.
Yeah, it's probably one of those deals like Twitter where you highlight someone's profile and it's like, oh, created today, huh?
Not to mention, I think, isn't that
this is the only thing you've ever reviewed?
Exactly, yeah,
Steam remembers like your alt names and connected accounts, you know? And like in otherwise, like in sites like IGN, like the big I think Metacritic is the scoreboard, right?
Yeah, that's like the big one.
Yes, the Metacritic scoreboard, that was the one that is easily abusable.
Yes, definitely. Same goes for Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, they eventually correct, but like day one, oh boy.
Oh man, like I really like when the people on the show try to advertise a movie, and like everyone in the watcher movie is like minimal, and somehow the one, like, they managed to manipulate the score that it stayed the same for I don't know how many weeks.
Yeah. Actually, anyway, this doesn't quite count because this was as a joke, but I'm actually reminded of one of the funnier things I've seen on YouTube in terms of like a meta level. There was this one Futurama clip of the Neutrals, and it was something like, if I die, tell my wife hello. Like that was the clip, but like there were like hundreds and hundreds, possibly a couple thousand of likes and dislikes, but somehow people had gotten it, like they'd come to some sort of unspoken agreements that the likes and dislikes were like perfectly even to make it neutral. I was like, this is amazing.
It still continues to this.
It's so good. Yeah, like at most there'll be a difference of like one because somebody has to be the odd number. It's amazing.
Speaking of review bombing, I think we talked about what is the better, review bombing or like mass reviewing, or damn it, I forgot the word. Not embargo.
It's up to 2.6 thousand likes and dislikes.
Nice.
And that was uploaded 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long. I remember seeing it. Not 7, but I remember seeing it a long time ago. I was very pleased.
Yeah, February 12th, 2013.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, boycott.
Oh, boycotting. Well, I mean, boycotting is talking with your wallet by not spending the money on the thing.
I think it was I heard a term boycott, which is like buying what you like. But
boycott is when you mass buy something because you do support it.
No, well, in nowadays just enough if you buy it or just buy the other something that you like better from the two of the possible two. But
that's just called like your life.
I just thought it was a male, cheap bed.
A boycott.
I do want... Okay, that joke is about my pay grade, but
it's below everyone's. Believe
Yes.
I do wanna say that what I heard, I think Jim Sterling made a video about how video game boycotts doesn't work because people can't maintain the distance from the topic. I think it was like some sort of good, like, oh, we are making a boycott against Call of Duty while we playing that.
Like, are you though? Like, you and your friends, but millions of people buy the game. You're not getting everybody to stop by. Like, boycotts work, especially when it's a local thing. Like, very famously in the United States during the Civil Rights Movement, there was a boycott on public transportation because black people would be like segregated to the back of the bus, and eventually they were like, "Fuck this." We're going to walk or bike or do whatever to get where we need to go. And they were a sizable portion of the bus riding population. So that local company got blasted. And they're like, we're losing more money than we're comfortable with. We're going to have to change something. Like, that's how a boycott works. But, like, you are not convincing everybody in your country to not buy Call of Duty. You're not doing that.
That's one thing. But when you make specifically a group that's supposed to boycott that specific game, and even that inside that group people are just playing that game.
Oh yeah, they don't care, or like I'll get it on sale or something. Like it's so convenient and easy to get. Like you're not enforcing that. Like it's very difficult.
Yep.
Especially because digital purchasing exists now. Like the bus, like it's a physical thing. Like you step on the bus or you don't.
So if you want to, like, I would say that mass reviewing, as we call it, well, not malicious review bombing, but mass reviewing, would probably have more impact in that regard. I think
that I can buy, but like if it's legitimate, because if it's not, it could be found out, and then they're like, oh, look at that, the reviewers are a bunch of liars, and it backfires.
Well, this is the thing, that we have to be more honest than the corporations.
Yeah,
in that regard.
But again, at that point, it wouldn't really be review bombing necessarily. It would be reviewing, and just a lot of people gave bad reviews. Like that's too bad. You know, like the I mentioned this on Reactive Consciousness. This isn't a review, but like that famous EA comment about a sense of pride and accomplishment, which blew the fuck up online, and everybody talked about it because they were like, well, that was a stupid fucking thing to say and do, and backlash actually happened.
Yes, I think that the problem here was that people started to act like, what was it? Like asking resellers to like asking back for their money, and that's something. That was the straw that really broke the EA's back.
Yeah, like word gets around, people are like, I'm mad at this, like I'm gonna undo my purchase, and if that's done enough, then that hurts.
And that actually worked very pretty well.
Like,
and after that, EA managed to get his shit together somewhat.
Yeah, they released Fallen Order and didn't fuck it up. But and also even just like PR is huge. Like a company's image, like what Vice was talking about with GameStop's boneheaded decision of threatening people's lives, not threatening their life, but putting their lives at risk during a pandemic to squeeze out extra sales. Oh boy, that's gonna bite them later.
I wish I could review bomb a GameStop. I guess you can if you go onto like.
Well, we already have. It's called the news. Everybody knows about this, and it's embarrassment. So now GameStop will get blasted later, and in Pennsylvania, it's blasted now.
We made our contribution in this, so don't worry. It's part of the message. So yeah, it's this is an interesting thing. So. If I would have to ask our listeners that anytime you have a chance to make a review and do make it out of a position of reason and objectivity, would I say?
Yeah, objectivity, because the opinion version is subjectivity.
See, when I review something,
I think you can use both. I think like you can make a subjective and an objective review. Just place it next to each other.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you could talk about facts, and then a review ultimately is your subjective opinion. I like or dislike something because of these criteria.
I mean, I've seen many people, like even in the negative reviews of Steam, people are like, these are the pros, these are the cons.
Yeah,
hope it
exactly.
helps.
It's very rare that a game is irredeemable, and if for some reason it is, you could say why. Not just it's bad. That doesn't tell you anything.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen many funny type of like this game was the best resale value reason to have Steam use the Steam resale thing,
Yeah.
etc.
Uh,
etc. Yes.
what I was gonna say is when I review something, I like it to be constructive. Like if I'm gonna put something out
Yeah.
there, I'm going to like the game no matter what on some level because I would want it to be constructive, or I'm giving somebody a fair warning about something. Those are like the two categories. So if I want to tell somebody stay away, I will certainly do that, but rarely am I ever going to do something like that.
Yeah, I can only think of a couple of instances for like myself.
Well, the thing is, I don't think if I was reviewing Stone Keep 2.
I beat that fucking game.
Or yes, we had our fun with that one, but
fun is a word I would.
Yeah, I would give people a clear warning that it's for only people that want to use their Wii in a creative way that doesn't work at all.
You know, to be perfectly honest, when I streamed it, it actually worked like better than I thought it would. Like I don't know if when you were playing at your place, if like you were aligned with your bar correctly or what. Like it played decently enough, but then again, I was not using every move.
Lotus,
that would have been a bad idea.
Stone Keep 2 does not need your defense.
I was promised the dragon and it didn't deliver.
I think
the game actually had a final boss though.
Yeah, it also has a whole game that I don't want to play.
And the weird life system connected to skulls.
Yeah,
it had one music that was decent, but
it also has like your friends are the bad guys from the first one for some reason, and they don't explain why.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, you could choose like a dwarf friend, maybe an elf. It's been a while, like or a human, and yeah, like a Sharga. That's basically the only. There are only two connections I can think of at all in the game that connect to Stonekeep, and the existence of Sharga is one of them. And the final boss's spelling of his name is similar to the spelling of a character's name. It's like Cole Crumb in the second game. It's like
why?
It's like the spelling is close but not quite. Like what?
You didn't have to rip off your own property. Like
also not Tim Curry, so I don't care.
It's his brother, Coral Crumb.
Yeah, that's basically. It was like, oh, it's totally him. See, no.
I wonder, maybe someone knows the fucking make me think of like what kind of story was behind the development, like in
cannot imagine.
Kingdom of Amalur that has a lot of story behind its development.
The best part is that the game basically takes place in present day, and like you could play as a boy or a girl who like don't have names. Like what? It's just like you're so like you could play as this kid who goes into the depths of Stonekeep. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Basically, it's Vice's favorite game.
You know what? Out of all the games that I talk a lot about, this one is up there.
Yeah.
So it's notable.
Well, you can tell that Lotus' favorite game was Eternal Ring, so...
That game's okay. It's just like fun. It's fun to meme about because it's like this is the game you're playing. Remember Eternal Ring? Not all fantasies are final. Like FromSoft, you are picking the wrong fight, my friend.
Well,
wait until the next console generation before you pull that shit.
More people talk about Dark Souls nowadays than Final Fantasy, if you ask me.
Yeah, but this is not Dark Souls. This was Eternal Ring picking a fight with fucking Final Fantasy IX. Like, don't even fucking think about it. Come on, Square Enix, you want a piece of me? Like, who even remembers Eternal Ring today? Not many.
Well, the ring, it's eternal.
From was playing the wrong game. Anyway,
Yeah.
back into the review system. So,
Yes.
anything else we can add to this, or should we move to the fan things?
We could probably move on. I mean, I think we gave a good overview of a couple situations in which this kind of thing has happened, but when it's appropriate, when it's not. I'm not a fan of what happened to was it Devotion? Because
yeah, that was stupid on the developer's part, though, I have to admit.
Yeah, but the entire country of China review bombed them.
Yeah, that's
they didn't
some
deserve
bullshit.
that either.
Actually, you know what that reminds me? Speaking of the entire country of China, that reminds me. Half funny, half frustrating story because of the coronavirus. People are teaching remotely if at all possible, and I forgot what app it was, like Zoom or some remote chatting program, like Skype or whatever. But teachers were using it to communicate with their students, so their students downvoted the app en masse, so it got removed from the store, which is kind of funny, but it fucking sucks. So there's a review bomb for you. Because they're like, I don't want to go to fucking school.
That kid's just protesting against school.
They were, but that still sucks. But it's kind of funny.
Also affecting the F, but yeah.
Did you guys ever see that Perry Bible Fellowship comic where they're two kids are standing by the radio and it's a snow day, and normally kids would be all about that, but these kids have this look of horror on their face. And
what?
And in the background you see their dad with a big smile on his face, and he has this phonics game and he's making them play it, and they're all sitting there holding their faces and face palming.
So good.
While the father's having fun spinning the phonics spinner. It's
what's a phonics?
So funny.
No, learning phonics, how to spell and pronounce. Well, phonics is how to pronounce words.
Pronounce words.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I don't even know if they do that anymore. It's kind of archaic, honestly. But I remember doing that in first, maybe second grade. Definitely first.
It's just kind of one of those situations.
Yeah, time for an educational game. Oh no.
They would rather go to school.
No, one of my favorites that's in that vein is it's a school day and this kid's oh no, I don't want to go to time to go to school, Timmy. I don't want to go to school. Okay, well if you don't want to go to school, maybe you want to play Cave Explorer, and he has this tunnel of blankets and everything set up, and the kid's what? Oh boy! So he crawls through this labyrinthine cave, which feeds directly onto the bus's stairway door, and the kid it's what? No! The bus just tries away the cat waste. It's so funny. He set that shit up.
It's so good.
And I think it's amazing that it just leads to the school somehow.
Yeah, no, it led to the school bus. It's so fun, and the kid's it's freaking genius.
My favorite webcomic, even though PBF is amongst the best, but this one's not a PBF one, but it's just Magic 8 Ball. Am I stupid? And he has a bowling ball.
I like the one that.
Oh yeah, Dracologist linked me to one of those where it was Twitter, Twitter Magic 8 Ball. Am I stupid? And it gets the blue check verification sign. That's
you are
pretty
a blue
great.
check mark.
Yeah. It was great.
All right, guys.
Anyway,
we should wrap up and
moving to fan stuff though. So we got a bunch of comments. So School Filmer had 2 comments, so I'll just say them both in a row. So first of all, so much for a Happy New Year, huh? No hand sanitizers in sight in Norway either. Luckily, I did get a bottle of it from a good friend of mine, so I'm set there. I've yet to play Ori and the Blind Forest on the Switch. I'm still surprised it's on the Switch, along with Cuphead. Yeah, Nintendo and Microsoft have been kind of
they're
up a
buddies
little bit there. Maybe we'll get Will of the Wisps on Switch too.
I want that game.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, maybe. So I guess that's only time will tell. In other news, I quite enjoyed what the indie world had to show, and I was happy they're bringing Dicey Dungeons to the Switch. I brought up the game to a friend of mine and hoping that it would get a console port. Glad to see that my wish was granted. And I wonder how fun Exit the Gungeon is, now that it's on the way to the Switch.
I forgot to reveal that Exit the Gungeon came out this week as
cool.
well.
So for the second comment, I haven't played many beat-em-ups, but I did play River City Ransom, and quite enjoyed that. Yeah, that's a classic. I also played Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, enjoyed that too, as well as its music. as well as some of Konami's licensed beat-em-ups, like The Simpsons, got it on PS3 before it got delisted, and Asterix. Asterix. That's
I played
immensely
two
popular in
versions of
Europe, and it
Asterix.
kind of like obscure in America.
That was one of the last Konami beat 'em ups, I think.
Yeah. Quite enjoyed the comics growing up, as well as the animated features. Good times all around. Favorite
Yeah.
potato chip flavor? Easy. Sour cream and onion all the way. Although, I also like Mexican Fiesta, a Tex-Mex inspired spicy flavor. And that limited time flavor of hamburger. That one was pretty good. I like hamburgers. I like chips. I don't know about a hamburger chip, though. I don't know.
Not a hamburger chip, but if you put some like tortillas into your hamburger, it's actually pretty good.
That I do not doubt for a second. Okay, so apparently there was also a chip flavor that I didn't notice because it came and went, but that one was chocolate, caramel, and sea salt. Yeah, I've heard of stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Sounds interesting. I did at one point use salted kettle-cooked chips along with M&Ms, or rather non-stop, actually, to make a milkshake, thanks to a TV show all about cooking food. Turned out pretty well. So there you go. Thank you for the hefty comment, School Filmer. By the way, I did mention I like kettle-cooked chips, also baked. Something about it, I just like it.
How about the image I just sent in the group chat?
Pringles. I never had Pringles, by the way.
Oh, the what is that? The Contra, or is that
the Contra Pringles?
Yeah, I forgot about those.
I need to get some of those. Once you pop, you can't stop the
speaking of Pringles, by the way, I don't know if this is throughout Europe or just the UK, but they are not called chips because it's like, Kraft singles. It legally does not meet the requirement for cheese, so it's not called cheese. I believe Pringles are referred to as crisps.
Yes. Yeah, I think they are here too.
Yeah, they are on the American label as well. But I think it's like an official thing in Europe or at least the UK, which is interesting.
In the UK, because chips in there, that is called a type of.
They're fries over there.
Type of fries, but it's not like those. Is it not like it's like sort of very well oil cooked version, and it's thicker.
Okay, Living Corpse has a very quick, very apt comment. This is regarding the coronavirus. Your local McDonald's isn't any cleaner than the Chinese restaurants. You're goddamn right, but bias and xenophobia argues otherwise. Or even if it doesn't, they just feel more comfortable with it anyway. Yeah.
Me and my fiance actually supported our local Chinese restaurant, and they were doing a booming business actually because they were one of the few restaurants open during this time. So
yeah. So Jack the Dynamite posts, they're closed liquor and banning guns because they don't want radicals to rise up and take out the government, which is good, but banning liquor and guns are just bad. Illinois did that, ban alcohol and guns. So I'm suspecting less because of a government take or of a revolt, and more because they're non-essential businesses. By the way, I do feel bad for liquor store owners, like any business having to close, but at the same time, I would argue that liquor stores particularly should close during this time because people are going to be cooped up in their house. System. What?
It weakens your immune system.
I wasn't even thinking about that. What I was going to say is that people people are going to be spending months cooped up in their house when they're not normally used to doing that. If they're just whiling away the time drinking, that is a fucking recipe for disaster. That is going to end terribly. So probably better we don't have that. Connor also has 2 posts. I'll read them both in a row. I really enjoyed the format of this episode, the CC, or the RC. It was really interesting listening to a deep dive into one particular series like that. Oh, maybe it was CC. Whoops. Half-Life was the game that really pioneered the single-player FPS campaign format of having the whole thing take place in one unbroken time span. That's true. I.e., your experience and perspective is identical to the protagonists throughout. And even today, the AI of the human enemies is really convincing. They flank you and try to draw you out rather than just running headlong at you like most other shooters of the time. Yeah, like Doom, just make a beeline for you. Regarding my game purchasing habits, I very rarely buy AAA games as soon as they come out, but with indie games I'm interested in, especially smaller ones, I'll usually try and buy them at full price on release, even if I don't plan on immediately playing them, just to support the developer as much as possible. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, me too.
We've done that sometimes. What was that, Dracologist?
Same.
Yeah, same. And then the second post, I see chips simply as a vehicle for a dip. That makes a a lot of sense. So I normally just buy plain ones along with a spicy salsa. You know what? That'll do it. Pretty interesting hearing Vice mentioning Tato. Over here, they're extremely popular, especially cheese and onion flavor, but it's rare to hear them mentioned outside of Ireland. Regarding beat-em-ups, I love Fighting Force on the PS1.
There's a reason for that. One of my best friends is a native Dubliner, so...
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I love Fighting Force on the PS1. It wasn't a particularly great game, but it was so much fun with 2 players. What was especially impressive at the time was how much of the environment was destructible. Yeah, I remember that. And could be used as weapons. Railings could be ripped off walls. Car wheels could be pulled up and thrown. That's freaking cool. I played countless hours of it.
Fighting Force, a game where you can pick up entire steel beams and like concrete posts.
That might have been Denchi Cup. Fighting Force was going to be Streets of Rage 3 or 4 or something, like on the Dreamcast. I guess 4. And then it had a name change.
Yep.
Yeah, so General Ledger also has 2 posts. Pickle-flavored chips are really good, but I can rarely find them in my area. Most
I like
cheese-flavored
pickle-flavored ones quite a bit.
Yeah.
Most savory.
Yep. Most cheese-flavored chips feel overly greasy to me. I get Lotus's Pavlovian reaction to vinegar. I took a stab at making a vinegar-based cleaner at home. Yeah, my dad's done that. Very effective, by the way. Until I added the lemon peel, it had a nauseatingly powerful odor. After that, the scent was rather muted. Vinegar is one of those things like baking soda where it just like works on everything with like no downsides.
Here's a little tip I learned from YouTube. If you combine one unit salt, 1 unit vinegar, and 1 unit flour, you can make a sort of this dough. You can cover brass and copper items in it that has patina on it, and it strips it clean. You just have to cover it, put it in a plastic bag, and put it away for like a few hours.
All right, so what did you say? Vinegar, salt, and flour, 1 unit of each?
Yes.
Interesting.
It works.
I'll see if I can remember that.
It strips clean brass and copper items. It eats patina.
And Ledger's...
It works out really well for... I have a Dutch oven that has a porcelain coating, and it's really good for getting off, baked on stuff.
Also, like, what do you call what is it that you left in the electric kettle on the bottom? That calcified stuff.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
Water plaque. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Ledger's second post is I have a friend in law enforcement, and her team is mostly concerned about contingency planning and supporting the most vulnerable people in the city. They've been doing welfare checks on addiction clinics, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, and the like. Good move.
Nice.
I also have to put some notice out there to probably any other vulnerable class as well. I would think that during a time like this, it would be particularly hard for vulnerable women as well. I would say would be having a hard time during this time. So definitely do some welfare checks on these people.
C. Barry has a quick post. I really enjoyed the Scott Pilgrim game, still on my PS3. Very nice. Dracologist, you had a couple posts. This one is such low-hanging fruit. My Corona. I get it.
Actually, that was like Weird Al Yankovic had a tweet, I think, that was like, no, I'm not doing my Corona. And
that's in poor taste. Yeah.
Then someone said like, oh, it's so too bad it would have been viral.
It would have, but like not the time. Maybe in a few years.
Yeah.
But everybody who knows that
People
song immediately thought of it though. Like there's no avoiding that.
People are dying.
People die from every kind of disease.
It's not funny.
Yeah, but this is like topical. So anyway, continuing on. But seriously, people don't do stupid things during a viral outbreak. Be like the Italian students who are going against the warnings of a corporation. Oh yeah, this was great. Be like the Italian students who are going against the warnings of a corporation on patent copyright, decided to still 3D print more valves or medical equipment. Yeah, there's possibility of them getting sued for infringement because the real parts are like expensive. Go fuck yourselves. Those students are awesome.
Yeah.
And we already talked about this on Reactive Consciousness, but as for GameStop, I heard that they're doing some no-no with their staff lately. Dracologist, that is incorrect. Lately is way off.
That's true.
Quan Chi had a different execution that was similar to another character disappearing and a giant skeleton hand appearing. Oh yeah, that was MK4. No, that was Shinnok.
Shinnok had a skeleton
Shinnok
hand, and Quan Chi had a skeleton hand as well.
No. Shinnok had 2 skeleton hand moves. It was like a squeeze and a clap.
I believe
That's
it was
weird.
Corey in the house that had a bone hand.
Yeah, Corey's got a bone hand. It's like the greatest clip in the fucking world.
Did they swing, because it was for all the version we had, like, it was Quan Chi who had one of the skeleton hand executions.
I mean, I could be wrong. There's more than one game with Quan Chi in it, but in MK4, I'm reasonably certain.
This was MK4 we had. Apparently, it was maybe a very early version that was not known.
Maybe.
Buggy,
I just remember Quan Chi had the
know.
greatest fatality and the stupidest fatality, and it's both amazing. But Shinnok, I know for a fact, had the skeleton hands.
Yeah,
but
the clapping one.
Quan Chi shot green skulls at you.
Oh well.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, claps the guy into mush. The other was grabbing the guy. I'm pretty sure both of those were Shinnok. He had a thing for those skeleton hands. And then your second post, what about Franco, Crazy Revenge? I don't know that one, actually.
I will link you to that game, and you guys have to play it.
Marvelous.
I will.
And anyway, you're saying the closest game I had to a beat 'em up would be Warhammer 40k Space Marine, a game that should have been a 3-parter. Warhammer's universe is just freaking endless, yeah. And then last comment, Sabrina Hengel says, yeah, GameStop is the only store we have for games too, at least if you want to get everything, especially limited editions. The guys who worked there were friendly and did their work as well, but I know their work conditions are quite bad. Honestly, it kind of makes me sad that I probably won't be able to go into a store and browse or pick up games, but oh well. That's what I like most about it.
Also remember that a good portion of their employees, basically all of them that aren't managers and assistant managers, don't have health insurance or benefits to speak of.
Yeah, welcome to retail. Yep.
Yeah.
Some bullshit. Franco the Crazy Revenge. 1996, newer than I thought it would be. Oh, this looks bizarre. What?
Yeah, that's some DOS-ass shit right there.
That is peak DOS.
DOS, Amigas, is from your Slavic friends. This is from Poland or Czechoslovakia or best Russia.
Interesting. Yeah, back then it would have been Czechoslovakia. Wow. All right, so finally the question is from Insane Buffoon. This question kind of cracks me up, but then when I think about it, it's legitimately hard to answer. What do you think is more likely to happen first? Waluigi getting his own game, or Waluigi being a playable fighter in Smash Brothers? If I had to guess, personally, because they've made jokes about Waluigi never being a main character, like in Mario Odyssey, you can get a Waluigi
He might be the last one.
Yeah, here's the thing. If they make a new Smash Brothers game after Ultimate, I don't even know where you go from
there
Ultimate.
There are 5 more characters, though. He could possibly be in the next 5.
Yeah, but he's an assist trophy, though. I would think if they make a new Smash Brothers, which, again, how do you even do that? But if they did, maybe. But if Ultimate means last, then I guess I'm going to have to default to console. But the thing is, like I was saying, in Mario Odyssey, you can get different costumes and stuff, and one of them looks like Waluigi's, but there's a little joke about it. It doesn't give him a name, but it's it makes you feel like someone who never has his own story or wishes he had his own story or something like that, but he's never the star. It never happens. I
don't think he's been in anything but the sports games.
And Mario Party. Yeah, in fact, games. The only reason he even exists is that they were Wario
needs a doubles partner.
Yeah, Peach has Daisy, Mario is Wario, Luigi, so that's how he came into existence on Mario Tennis on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more popular than he used to be, though. So
people used to kind of hate him because they were lame design, lame name, put Wa in front of it, that's corny. But, like, he's definitely built up a following over the years. He's like, you know what? He's all right. But that's the thing, though, is his draw is because he's, like, a pathetic character. Like, Wario was just a jerk, but then he got his own series where he's greedy all the time. Waluigi, I don't...
My favorite comment on them was, like, from the Nintendo staff. They were like, you know, we're going to have to add it in what about Wario and Waluigi's girlfriends, and they're like, no, I'd hate to see what they would look like.
Yeah, they also have weird twisty mustaches. No, one of my favorite Waluigi memes was like, oh, I just realized Waluigi was in Smash the whole time, and it shows like Master Hand, and then it zooms out, and it's just the glove of like a gigantic Waluigi. It's like, this is so stupid. And there was actually a really wholesome like webcomic, like just like one comic. Apparently it was made from like some sort of like Rule 34 artist or something, but he made just like a legitimately wholesome comic where people are getting their Smash invitations. You could tell because there's a Smash logo on an envelope, and Waluigi finally gets his, and he's like, yes! And then you see Daisy like crying off in a corner, and he's like, and he gives her his invitation, and she goes off. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I think it's more likely that he'll be in Smash more than his own video game. Though he could receive like a mini game or like a downloadable mini title, or even be part of like a Wario Brothers game. That would be really fun.
I would fucking love a Wario game with like Waluigi playable.
Yeah, Wario Brothers. Oh, you know?
That'd be so cool.
Or Super Wario Brothers. You know,
that would be amazing if they did that. Or if he were in Smash for some reason, he would definitely just... You know how Wario has all sorts of like stupid moves, like the motorcycle and like various things from his games, the shoulder ram? I would love Waluigi having all sorts of ridiculous sports moves, and like that one thing he does in Mario Power Tennis where his defensive move, if the ball is super far away, he just...
moonwalks?
No. Well, he has done that in something. I forgot what. But like maybe the offensive move, or the defensive one is like... There's just water and he swims to it. I was like, what? It makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's fantastic.
He does that in Aces, yeah, definitely.
Oh, in Aces as well? Very nice.
Yeah, and he does the moonwalk in Aces as well, yeah.
You know what I kind of thought was interesting? Is each character has their own, like, different kind of aesthetic. Like, in Strikers, like the soccer one, where Mario is fire, you know, surprise, surprise. I think Daisy's got, like, flowers in the background. Waluigi had, like... thorns or brambles. I just thought that was an interesting just direction to take it. And I don't think it's ever come back because it's just like a soccer game. What are you going to do with that in other games? But like, just, I don't know. Keep that on the back burner maybe.
Would you scramble for a bramble?
Only in
Shambles?
Donkey Kong Country 2.
Only in Shambles. Anyway, we should wrap things up.
There's ample brambles to scramble for.
There's ample brambles to scramble.
Yeah. I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square.
Not a stickler for a tickler. That one's not real, but God.
But it could have been.
It exemplifies.
Tickler is a real stickler. Like that is a scene from Seinfeld.
Everybody should watch the newest season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It just ended last night. It was fantastic.
Very nice.
But anyway, that is the show for this week. We want to thank all of our fans who contributed questions and comments. Man, it was a good week for that.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch.
Please help us keep us supplied. Keep us supplied with awesome topics by submitting questions of your own via the YouTube and SoundCloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes, and keep your hands to yourself. It helps promote and spread awareness of the show, and that's the only thing we want to spread. And any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Tuesdays for our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, the podcast where we take the in-depth look at this week in our lives. Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold and take more pregnant pauses on pretty much.
Yeah, I was going to say, very, very contemplative. And you can follow me. Like, it's like, it really makes you think. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing my videos early, again, I mentioned this on Tuesday, but Resident Evil 0 is just starting, baby. seeing my videos early, like I said, getting in on exclusive live streams. We're coming kind of toward the end of Shadow Tower.
Thank
Believe it or
God.
not, we're making it happen. I'm doing it. This will be the fourth Kingsfield game I've played. It's not Kingsfield, but it is kind of.
You're doing God's work. You really are.
Yo, Shadow Tower's pretty legit.
Yeah.
So getting in on exclusive live streams, selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, and let me tell you, it'll be some time before the next one. I gotta beat Resident Evil 0 first, but next one's gonna be spooky. And and finally getting involved in conversations with me and other patrons on Discord, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/Lotus Prince.
And you can find me on Skype, Steam, and on Discord under the name Dracologist.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you all on Tuesday. Stay healthy and stay safe.
Until next time, everyone.
Night.